This is basically just a block of cheese, and if you know me, you know that I love cheese, so I pretty much just ordered food this week to get this one meal. For somebody to plan your meals for the week, you know, a few meals, do a lot of the prep work for you, you portion everything out and just have it all together for you, and for you to not have to think about that, I feel like it's worth it. Hey guys, it's been a little while, so I thought I would make another video about Green Chef, which is a meal delivery service that I've been using for a few years now. Now, I had kind of stopped ordering it regularly over the past year, but if you are like me, you're maybe getting a little burnt out on cooking every meal at home. So I started ordering it again, and there's actually one recipe this week that I was really excited about, so I thought I would share it with you. So just before we get started, if you are interested in trying Green Chef, I'll have a code in the description box for, it basically comes out to one free box. They changed it a little bit how it works. It used to be one free box, now it's like a $1 discount, but it's basically the same thing. So if you wanna try it, don't pay full price, use the code if you're signing up. But when I joined Green Chef a couple years ago, they had, you know, a few different meal plans. I joined it for the keto plan, which is actually what I'm still on, but it's actually so much better now than it was even a couple years ago. So they now have kind of combined some of the meal plans. So it's now keto and paleo in one together. And then there's like vegetarian and like, you know, maybe like calorie watching and like just regular. So there's all different kinds of plans, and there's way more options every week to pick from. So before, I think you chose like 3 meals out of like only 4 or 5 to pick from. Now there's like 8 or 9 a week that you can choose from. You can get more than 3. You could get additional portions of some meals. So if you have like a bigger family or you have people coming over and you want to make more, there's a lot more options now than there had been. But I'm still on the plan that I had been all along, which is 3 2-serving meals per week. So the meals that I got for this week are the Parmesan crusted chicken, which I think I've had before. That sounds very good. The beef and butternut squash chili, which also sounds really good. I love anything with butternut squash. But the one I'm gonna cook tonight, which I'm really excited about, is the fried cheese with Germolata. And I looked up, Germolata is this sauce that's on it. It's like a pesto sauce. So I'm really excited because this is basically just a block of cheese. And if you know me, you know that I love cheese. So I pretty much just ordered food this week to get this one meal. Okay, so the first thing I always do is kind of just go through the ingredient list to make sure it came with everything it's supposed to. If you do a meal that has meat, the meats come separately in the box. So like for the other ones, the chicken and the beef ones, I'll have like a separate little meat packet and then the bag with everything else. For this one, I just have the bag. So in here, there should be the grilling cheese, which is here. This is cool, Grillies brand. It's just a block of cheese, okay. Zucchini, which is here. Cremini mushrooms are right here. Red bell pepper is what's on the recipe. They actually sent me yellow, that's fine. And balsamic roasted red pepper sauce with olive oil is here. Italian herb and red pepper blend. Oh, that's this one. Parsley, basil, pepita pesto is here. Sunflower seeds and crushed red pepper flakes. And then besides the stuff that it comes with, pretty much the only ingredients you would need to provide yourself are like salt, pepper, and oil, which it looks like that's all I need here. And then as far as equipment, I would say if you have 1 or 2 pots, 1 or 2 frying pans, a sheet pan, and 1 or 2 mixing bowls, that will cover everything that you would ever need to do. This one says that I need like 2 pans, a bowl, and a measuring cup and measuring spoons. But even that, like a lot of times you could get by with using 1 pan for everything because you do them kind of separate. So I'll try to follow the directions, but just know that I don't always follow them exactly as they're written. Another nice thing about these recipes is that it comes with like photographs, so you can always kind of make sure, like, am I chopping these vegetables into the right shape? Am I slicing the cheese up right? Like, I don't really know exactly how I'm gonna be doing this cheese, so it's nice to have a little picture so I can follow along and make sure I'm doing it correctly. So the first step is usually to prep any of the produce, and that's what it's telling us to do here. So we're going to slice the zucchini into like half moons. We're going to wipe down the mushrooms and slice them, and we're going to slice the, or dice the pepper. Sometimes the produce does come a little more prepped, like a lot of times if there's something with cabbage, it will be like in a little bag already shredded. But especially for things like this and like the peppers, it's hard to ship them probably if they're already processed, so it's just easier to like send a whole one. So the next step is to prepare the cheese. It says to cut it vertically into 2 slabs and season with half of the Italian herb and red pepper blend. I think I'm actually going to use a bigger knife for this. This is probably the part I am most nervous about, just like doing it unevenly. So hopefully it cuts well. Okay. All right. And then we'll season them with the herb blend, half of it. Another nice thing about Green Chef is it is like customizable, so especially when there's things like very spicy. I'm not super into spice, my husband really is, so a lot of times I'll just put a little bit on my portion and then put like a whole bunch of the spice on his, so I think we both appreciate that. Alright, our next step is to toast the sunflower seeds just in a dry pan over medium heat. And while those are going, we will make the Germolata. So we put the parsley, basil, pepita pesto, and a tablespoon of olive oil in a bowl, and then combine them with the toasted sunflower seeds. So not a lot of real complicated steps here. Kind of curious just to try this. That's good. Yeah, definitely a pesto. I don't use the measuring spoons, I just eyeball stuff. And when these are toasted, I will add them in here. The next thing we're going to do is cook the veggies and the sauce. Well, it wants us to use the sunflower seed pan, so I guess I do have to wait for another minute or so till these are done. So these are good. It said the clue was when they're getting fragrant, and I can definitely smell them. Nice nutty flavor now. So here is our Germolata sauce. Alright, so now we can move on to the veggies, and I'm going to put some oil in this pan. And just add all the vegetables to the hot pan, season with the remaining pepper blend and my own salt and pepper and the red pepper flakes. smells really good, like the toasty herbs in here, really good. Okay, so while that's going, I will do the next step, which is to sear the cheese. So we're gonna heat some oil in this pan, and then we will sear it for a minute or two on each side until it is evenly browned. So there is one more step to the vegetables. We add this balsamic roasted red pepper sauce with olive oil and some water. So we'll give this a nice sauce. And then it says we'll cook this another couple minutes. And the cheese is bubbling really nicely over here. Actually, maybe I want to just use a spatula to flip these. It smells really good. Oh my god. Well, it's melting, which I didn't know the grilling cheese was supposed to do. But we'll see how it turns out. Alright, so the final step is plating, and they do tell you, like, you know, put the vegetables on the bottom and put the cheese on top and pour the sauce over. But again, if you're like someone who doesn't want your different foods to touch, you can plate it however you want. Actually, if you had seen some of my previous videos about Green Chef, I used to prepare them all at once in one day and package them up to take to work for lunches throughout the week. So I would just like throw everything in a container. So really, like, plating is up to you. But what we're supposed to do is put the vegetables on the bottom. And then we'll add our cheese slabs. I may have gotten them a little too melty. Ooh, that one looks perfect. And then we top with this pesto Germolata sauce that we mixed up. Okay, so what is your review?
It is very, very good.
Yes.
This is like restaurant quality. This would be the kind of dish I don't want to order.
I know, if I saw a block of cheese on a plate, I would order it.
Thing is, I mean, I wouldn't know how it would be named in a restaurant, but if I walking into a restaurant and I saw that on a plate, okay. But it's very good. The spices.
Do you like Green Chef in general? What do you think?
Oh, I haven't had a bad thing from Green Chef yet. This is phenomenal. Mm-hmm.
Good.
They make this phenomenal.
So a few FAQs. Number one, do I think that Green Chef is worth it? I think yes. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously more expensive than just going to the grocery store, but for somebody to plan your meals for the week, you know, a few meals, do a lot of the prep work for you, you portion everything out and just have it all together for you, and for you to not have to think about that, I feel like it's worth it. Another question is about the waste. That was actually one of the big things that I was interested in when I was shopping around for like a meal kit service. I mean, they all have some degree of waste. I will say Green Chef comes in, you know, cardboard box and cardboard or compostable like insulating material. Packaging, when it can, is recyclable, so sometimes things do come in like little cardboard boxes and containers, but you saw a lot of the packaging was little plastic bags. Now they do say that those bags are recyclable, and technically they are, but realistically there's basically like no place that accepts that type of plastic. So realistically it is trash. But if you're thinking about it like in volume, you know, they're just like little thin bags. You end up with like a little stack of little plastic bags. And the paper bag that everything came in is recyclable. So it doesn't produce like a huge volume of waste, but yes, you will produce some garbage. I mentioned previously about like the types of equipment and things you need to provide. So you really just need salt, pepper, and oil, and like those basic kitchen pieces of equipment. Besides the pots and pans that I mentioned, you know, you'll probably want like a knife, a cutting board, mixing spoons, tongs, that sort of thing. So if you're just starting from nothing, you know, you might want to get yourself some basic kitchen supplies. But if you have a kitchen full of stuff and you just don't feel like figuring out what to cook, you should be set. As far as cleanup, I had 2 knives to wash, a cutting board. I'll have these 2 pans, these 3 utensils, and this bowl and spoon. So, you know, there are a few pieces for this meal, for example, that I need to clean up. Like I mentioned, you can probably like reuse things, so I probably could have done 1 pan for all of this, but you know, it's up to you how you want to like spread things out.